They kind of portray Muslim women as oppressed, even though not all of them are. It depends on where they're from, where their families are from.
It's almost like they're oppressed. So in any terms of Western media and how she's portrayed a man-woman relationship, it's seen from a very one-sided angle, that this is oppression, that her life is, she's not in control of her life, she's not in control of anything that she does.
Maybe because we wear the scarf, that's why they like to say, oh, it's the men who's making them wear the scarf, or etc. But it's separate from religion, like it's not Islam.
I think the media is trying to portray it as negatively as possible. I think people confuse culture with religion a lot.
Like one thing that like you have to understand is that there's a difference between, let's say, like a culture and Islam, the religion.
When we're portrayed in the media, it seems as if women are inferior somehow to men, or that they can't take care of themselves, but they can. It's just that they have that extra guarantor.
They have largely been distorted, reason being that when you see a Muslim woman covering her face or her body, it is commonly taught in modern culture that maybe she's under pressure to do so. That is not entirely true.
That I'm oppressed, that I can't voice my opinion, that I don't have an opinion.
They think it's weird that we wear this black thing that we call abaya. Yeah, that thing. They think that we're oppressed because we wear that, or like we have to wear it. It's just the culture of our country.
Some women are oppressed, and so people often think that someone are oppressed. This means that like the religion is telling them to do so.
Like obviously you will get examples anywhere with any types of relationships, not just in Islam, in every different religion, in every different cultures or whatever.
It comes with coming from a developing country, where the men feel they have more rights, where there's less equality between the genders.
Yeah.
But it's not something that's because of Islam.
Something happened to me a couple of days ago where a guy came up to me and he was asking me, where are you from? And I told him Saudi Arabia. And the first thing he told me, so you have oil wells in your house. I'm like, what?
I think like Muslims aren't like portrayed as being just normal individuals. So like even for myself, like I grew up here in this country. So whenever I do meet people, or even Irish people, they always ask me, where are you from? When I say I grew up in Tala, they're like, no, but where are you really from?
Yeah, I do think so. That I think Muslims are generally portrayed as terrorists or people with bad influence, people that just want control. Have you seen The Dictator?
Yes, definitely. But I don't think it's just about Islam. I think media always portrays the stereotypes in anything.
It takes a person to know a few Muslims and have a few friends, have a couple of chats, meet some people, go to their houses, hang out with them to actually know that they are normal.
It's always the stereotypical thing about these that are being represented in media, and that's how it plays around with people's emotions, that's how you create a story.
Look at normal news channels. They don't portray the whole thing. They just portray their version of the story, as in like what they want the world to know.
I can't think of any TV shows or movies where they just show a Muslim as a normal person with a story.
I think the show that we were talking about, Umar bin al-Khattab, that's a really good show that talks about Islam, about like when our prophet was at the time of our prophet. It really talks about Islam, so I think that's a really good one as well. Yeah.
Maybe it's mystery. Maybe people just want to know how he lived, and But I don't think in the media we've ever been portrayed as being just that normal family.
For example, you have a TV series called Homeland, and it has a very, very stereotypical view of Muslims and a certain country. It is a very stereotypical view. But it is changing that. I mean, you do see Muslims in the lead in many light-hearted comedies or light-hearted TV shows. For example, I think Aziz Ansari, he's in one of that I can't remember what. Master of None, yeah.
The recent times that we're coming to, because we have Twitter and because we have Facebook, I think the news and like the content that is being churned out like right now in public space is kind of more so in the hands of the people now. So even even in some of the news channels, you have like in Al Jazeera, they have like a section called the listening post. So they actually take in the opinion of the viewers, and that's how they kind of they release their content.
I do believe Western media can change, and I'm seeing it through my own eyes. It is changing. You have a rhetoric by a certain U.S. presidential candidate, a narrative that he's trying to promote, which is not accurate about Muslims or Islam, and then you see you see American media or Western media, which is trying to counter that.
And I think that's breaking out slowly, because now with independent films, with short films, things that are people that are coming out.
It might be possible, to change. I think, with more like with communication globalization, different views are being more seen. So maybe in the future, I'm optimistic that in the future it will change.